Jaden Cox, welcome, I guess for me, Colorado Springs. How long have you been here?
I've been here now going on about 4 months.
4 months, and what's it like? What's been the biggest difference? What have you gained the most out of living here?
I mean, I think at the guidance, especially from Coach KJ, you know, he's been great, pushing me. Just having somebody that kind of put me through the workouts and help me out with my technique, especially. I mean, he's a great technician. He knows freestyle, you know, really well. He just pushes me each and every day, not only from a technical side, but also from a mental side as well. So just having that, having the camaraderie of, you know, I work with a lot of developmental kids and developmental guys, and Matt Williams now moved out here as well, so I got that as well. So it's going really well. So having all that kind of combined is pretty awesome, you know. And I feel like I have a system here with Coach Zadig and them that, you know, I can talk to them with things so I'm going right or whatnot, and we can figure things out, and they helped to keep building me up.
Cool. You said not only the technical side, but the mental side. I'm just curious, could you maybe elaborate and the confidence or just visualization or something I don't know about? Or
oh, confidence is one thing. You know, I tend to sometimes kind of belittle my ability, but it's like I think of it sometimes as like I'm humbling myself a little bit, but sometimes it's actually just demeaning what I'm capable of doing, and so being confident and knowing like, no, I can do this. I can go out here and do what I want with this. I have this ability to do this and that. So I'm also just pushing myself to go that extra mile, you know, in the match. You know, pushing myself to have better position late in the match. You know, making my best period. You know, or my best wrestling in that last 30 seconds of stuff. Keep pushing, just keep getting those points and everything, and you know, not settling in positions, and not taking those breaks in those positions as well. So, you know, just all those factors kind of helping me to gain that, also help me gain that confidence, because when you know you're doing that, you know you're taking steps towards where you want to go.
Sure. You just went with Kyle today, Kyle Snyder. It wasn't a live practice or anything, but what do you, I guess similar to the question about what moving here, right? Why do you like wrestling with Kyle? What do you get out most from him? You guys are he's more like straightforward, and you're kind of like every which direction. What do you get out of training with him?
I mean, I think I get one. I didn't get, obviously with anyone I wrestle, I get a different perspective. But you know, I think I get a different feel, because even though we may wrestle different as far as the way we move, way we attack, do some things, there's some things that we do very similarly. And like today, we're going over down blocks, we're going over leg defense and everything. Well, that's something I actually really need help with, because since I am kind of go whichever which way, you know, sometimes, you know, I'm tended to do things like go into a split and stuff, or do something that's not the norm of what baseline defense is. And as of late, like, people have been like taking advantage of that, right? They don't play with that no more. They just drive you out of bounds, and they'll get their point, and they don't care, and I can't allow that to happen. So, you know, he's definitely someone that can bring me back in the line as far as like, you know, this is how it needs to be done, and here's what I do, and here's how I feel. And his feel out there as well, like, he may seem big and like that he doesn't do much, but or like doesn't do much as far as like movement and everything, but he's actually doing a lot more than what the eye can see. You know, it may not seem like it, but you know, everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason. Everything has a plan behind it. So, and so I think we actually wrestle a lot alike, just in two different ways. You know, it just shows in two different ways. You know, mine's more visible, his is not. You know, so it's pretty cool. And just getting his feel, getting his intel. And a lot of the times we go together, we actually talk a lot about position. We're trying to understand, like, why do you do this? Why do you do that? How does this feel? Let me try that out. So we just get to build on top of what we already have.
And I was kind of going to go down that road. Like, if you go to a college practice, there's not a lot of talking, right? It's get to work and go. Whereas here, maybe unless you're going live, maybe even still, there's a lot more talking. Is that most practices? Like you said, you and Kyle will talk through positions, and I see Jordan was working with some guys, and a lot of these guys, it's not just wrestle. It's wrestle, stop, talk, collaborate, figure out. Is that more often than not?
Yeah, like especially here, like guys are looking to be the best, right, and be the best in the world. And, you know, so like even like Kyle and I, we started working with Jordan, and I think Jordan was going with Nazar.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about the position, and he's asking questions. And we're like, well, here's what you do, and here's what I feel, and so it is important, because they want to understand the position, you know, and understand, well, why am I doing this? Where's this going? You know, how can I make this better? And so talking it out is actually really good, because there's no point in keep doing the same thing, and you're doing it either wrong or not the best that you're capable of doing it, right? So it's good to kind of take a pause and just be like, hey, you know, let's talk through this, let's figure this out, and then get back to work. You know, if you need to come back to something, and you're like, hey, I don't like how this feels, and stuff, try and figure that stuff out together. So I mean, that's how you build each other up.
Did you work? I seen you, you know, you and Mike and you and little Jaden train. Is it somewhat like that? I feel like you guys go slower, at least when I seen you, and talk through positions, kind of like you just explained.
Yeah, when we drill, we definitely, Mike and Jaden and I, we would talk through positions more so than we would just go through it. You know, it takes, like when we're going though, we're going. Like it's not going to be like, oh, we're going to talk and we're going to lose lose our steam or lose our focus, right? We're gonna continue to go, but like we sit down, we talk, and it's like, all right, what's this feel? What do you see here? Well, what if I tried this and stuff? That helps me grow, and really makes you feel like you are actually getting better, right? Because you're actually getting that information and you're retaining it and you're actually talking it through, rather than being like a robot and just kind of going through the motions. And then on top of that, it prepares you for other situations that you might see, you know, because for every action you might have a different reaction from somebody else. So when you're showing this stuff and you keep on going through it, you're actually preparing yourself for more scale. So now you have more options, you know, and you have more experience in that than you think, you know, because now when that shows up in the match, you've already gone over that. You've talked it through. You've gone through the steps that you needed to for that.
This is your third camp, third year in a row, obviously, third team. What does it feel like mentally, emotionally, I guess more so, compared to that first year? You've been here, you know what to expect. Was there more question marks and anxiety or fear or just question marks than there are now?
I think at the beginning of this year there was a lot more. Like, so the beginning of my career, international career, you know, it was just, I think it was more like an ignorance is bliss kind of thing. You just go on, doesn't matter who says what happens, this goes that way, this whatever, you know. So I was 21 years old doing my thing, you know. And then even in the next year, it was a little bit more pressure, but at the same time, it was like, I just came off a college season, I'm ready to just kind of jump into the next one and let's go. And then there were some trials and tribulations through that year, especially dealing with weight and everything, but for the most part I was just kind of like, let's just do what we got to do. But then like, I think this year it kind of hit me, like, because now it's like, all right, well, you have performed, you've come back with 2 world medals, you've done what you've needed to do, and so it's like there's an expectation on you. And so I think at the beginning of the year, you know, I was more so, I'll admit that I was probably more so like, dang, you know, I gotta go get this, you know. And then I realized that I think as time went on and as I worked out more and I talked with KJ more, that I shouldn't be worrying about performing, because, you know, the most thing that I want, I should just be worried about what I want. And what I want is a world gold medal, you know. That's what I want. You know, the expectation that everyone has on me should be the same expectation that I have of myself. You know, and for me, that's to have a world gold medal. And if people have that expectation of me, then I should have that expectation of me. And that's when, like, that confidence that we talked about, that mentality and stuff that we have to want to go get that, you know, that's when that comes into play. You know, so that is my drive. Like, nothing else matters. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm driving for. This is it. And there's not a nervousness with it. You know, there's nothing. Kind of when I think of it like that, I don't have a nervousness about it. Like, I have that focus. This is what's gonna happen. This is what I gotta do to get it. And when I made it simple and like broke it down, like, it's just wrestling. This is what I gotta get to, and this is my goal, and this is how I'm gonna get there. It was just, all right, let's go out and do it. And I feel that, especially with the style, and like I was talking to you about the changes that KJ had me doing as this month coming around, and you know, I'm feeling confident as ever. You know, I put in more work for this Worlds than I've had for the last Worlds and for the Olympic year. You know, because I've been training it the whole time. I've been putting in the time, the effort, and everything, and I've been surrounded by an environment that really allows me to thrive in that.
Cool. Last thing I want to touch on. Richard Perry. Just want to know, you talk about your relationship with Richard, how you met him, what your interactions have been like. So
Perry is a really good friend of mine. Also, he's a really good mentor of mine as well. Like, it's just as a man, you know, as a husband, as a father. And so, I mean, I met Perry in 2016. I should have met him earlier though, because he was at the NCAA's, you know, my freshman year when he was a senior. But we met him in 2016. We trained together a lot, He actually went to Rio with us that year, and you know, just throughout the time we've just been good friends. You know, I go out to Penn and train with him and Brandon Slay, and you know, so I mean, it's been a great relationship, and he's I don't know, he's just a person that's just got this you know, this joy about him, right? Like always in a good mood, smiling. You know, it seems like he's always got the, you know, both sides. He's got the humor and he's got the intelligence. He's got the insight, the wisdom. You know, so it makes him a really good friend, but also, like I said, a really good mentor to talk to. But you know, it's just the whole situation. I mean, it's been hard, but at the same time, I think it's brought us all together. You know, I've gotten to, I think for me, I've gotten to get not to know only myself but my teammates better through this experience. I think that Rich is in good hands, and I know he's in good hands. I mean, you know, and I got to visit him in the hospital when we were in San Diego and everything, and I will admit, yeah, it was hard to see him like that, but I know he's strong, and I know that he's in good hands, like I said, and he's had surgery today, you know, and I'm praying for him. I remember, you know, I did a fast for him for the last 3 days from Friday to Sunday, and you know, and that's nothing for me. You know, that's pure, like, that's how much I care about this man. You know, I care enough about him that, you know, to give up, you know, anything that I have to eat, you know, I'll give it up for him. You know, because he's had that kind of impact on my life and on many others, and you know, people can see that. You know, you just meet Perry for 30 seconds, not even that. You know that you can just know he's a really good guy, a really good man.
You don't have to get into much detail if you don't want. When you went to see him, was he awake? Could he talk? I don't know.
So when I went to see him, he couldn't speak at that point, and his eyes weren't open when I went to see him. He was aware though, like, you know, he's putting thumbs up and everything. I remember, like, so he had stitches in his eye because his eye was swollen, and he wanted to itch it, right? And he went to itch it, but we're not allowed to let him because his hands are dirty, right? And so KJ goes to grab his hand, and KJ couldn't stop his hand from getting to his eye. And so then his brother was in there as well. His brother went in, and he couldn't stop him. And then so then I had to grab his hand, and it took all three of us to keep him. Like, that's how strong Rich was, even with, you know, all these medicines, all this sedation, and all that stuff being. You know, he was so strong still, even then, that his one arm took three of us to pull away from his face so he wouldn't itch his eye. You know, so it's just like, you know, seeing stuff like that kind of gave an encouragement. But, you know, like I said, this stuff is hard. Either way, you know, this is far from over. There's been improvements, obviously, and we've been keeping up with him. But it's far from over. He's still in a fight, and that whole family is. And I have to say too that his wife, Gina, is, like I said in the video, but she is amazing. Like, the strength she's shown for, you know, showcase to the world, to her family, to her kids. I mean, he's a very lucky man with that strong a woman that he has. You know, and Perry's wife has done amazing through this whole situation and everything. So I've kept in touch with her a little bit, and you know, I'm just praying for them all. I'm hopeful that it's a quick recovery, smooth surgery. You know, he's going in today, so you know, fingers crossed, prayers to him, love sent there, just hoping for the best.
Can you give 5 words to describe Richard Perry?
All right, I would say a joyous light. I have to say joyous light. I know that's already 2 words, but that's how it is. You know, wise, intelligent, caring. I have to say probably you know, loving as well. So I know I used 2 of them as joyous light, but I had to tell, because that dude's just fun. That dude just understands things that can make people smile, make people laugh, make you feel good. But he's just overall a great guy.
Jade, I appreciate the time.
No problem.
Thank you.